This is the 3pm Takeover, Radio Northern Beach's only drive-home show.
Keep it right here for a whole hour of fresh hits and entertainment for your Wednesday afternoon.
Here we go.
This is Jump Around by House of Pain. You are with Hope and Victoria on Radio Northern Beaches. It is Wednesday afternoon. You're listening to The Takeover. Hey, guys.
Hope your Wednesday has been excellent so far, and if it hasn't, it's about to be, so don't worry.
It has to have been excellent with that song.
I know. That was such a throwback, and I loved it.
I love like every song that reminds me of being younger than I am now.
I felt like I just rewatched every amazing teen movie from the early 2000s.
So true. And, okay, we're going to start with some interesting / random news today. So if you were listening to the show last week...
my favourite kind of news.
I know. You will know that Victoria took in a non-creepy way, psychology quiz to see how well she knew herself. And she got 60%, which was apparently quite good.
It's a pass.
It was a pass. What counts as knowing yourself well? Well, I took the quiz over the week, and I am very surprised and slightly weirded out to announce that I got a score of 91.
Whoa.
Which is very, very high, and I thought about it because I was like, I don't know if I know myself. I think it's that I have very strong opinions on everything.
Yeah.
I never pick the sort of, I'm not sure, I'll find out type answer.
I always pick the unsure answer.
I pick like a very specific answer, which is why I think it thinks I know myself.
That, or you're just like ready for retirement.
I think I just tricked psychology, I reckon.
Guys, big news, breaking news. Hope has beaten psychology. Tune in next week. Bye, guys. No. There's no other news. What could possibly top that with?
I think that I have, though, because I was so surprised by its score. But anyway.
That's insane.
If you are interested, Google how well do you know yourself and take the quiz.
Yeah, let us know.
There's only one.
Let us know if you beat myself, or if you beat Hope, which would be even more impressive, or if you got less than us, which if you're benchmarking against Hope would not be that hard, but against me might be a little bit hard. So
there we go. Anyway.
You're making my 60% feel pathetic now. Anyway.
But it said 60% was good, which is why I'm like...
Yeah, I'm sure 91% is probably a little bit better, maybe like 31% better. So
but still, I don't know. Anyway, coming up today on the show, we have got some really, really cool things, so make sure you stick around. We're going to talk a little bit about stress in like a non-depressing way. After this, we're going to talk Doctor Who.
One of my favourite things. Stick around, guys.
And we are also going to do a movie review of a super, super fantastic movie that we went to see during the week. So make sure you stick around. That's going to come up towards the end of our show.
But first of all, we'd like to let you guys know that it's you guys can still submit ideas for our next special. It's coming up in just 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
We need your amazing ideas. Otherwise, it's going to be a very boring themed week.
But it's going to be an amazing special, right? Because it is the last special of the year.
It is. December is already upon us, friends. Well, almost. I'm getting ahead of myself. I just want it to be Christmas already. You ever have that feeling every year you want it to be Christmas, but you don't want it to be the end of the year yet?
Oh, because as soon as the year's ended, I'm like, oh, so long till Christmas.
Yeah, and like everything restarts and you're like, oh, it's like back to the beginning. And
yeah, and you're like, because I feel like as the year goes on, everyone gets a little bit more
excited for Christmas.
Positive. Because it's like, oh, the end of a year, and then you start from the beginning.
Spirit, yeah.
And you're like, oh, beginning again.
But our birthday's at the beginning of the year, so it's like, oh, only a few months to my birthday. So it's kind of good.
That's true.
Yeah.
I feel it's sort of April, May that I get stuck, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
The year is long.
Yeah. But so let us know if you guys have any amazing suggestions for the next special. And if we can't use them for December special, we can easily roll them over into next year because we are always on the hunt for amazing specials for the 3pm Takeover. So keep them coming.
True. But heads up, we are not going to do a Christmas special for December because we will do a Christmas show closer to the end of the month like we did in December last year. If you missed that, boo earns to you. You can tune in this year. We are going to have a whole pile of really, really cool Christmas topics and Christmas music, which reminds me, if you have any ideas for segments that we should do in the lead up to Christmas, let us know. I've already had a couple of suggestions. So we're going to be hitting the Christmas tracks and topics come December, which is 2 weeks away.
If there's anything you guys are like, oh, how do you do this? Or if only I knew how to do that, we're more than happy to look into it for you.
I thought you were going to say, because we will clearly just know how to do it.
Oh, I mean, that might happen, but
maybe
it's very unlikely that it will.
It could do.
I'll hope to.
I'm good at a few
things.
Know.
You never know. But stick around. We'll catch you after this song, and we're going to help you de-stress after this song. So breathe through this song, and we'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. takeover. That was another throwback song. We were just debating whether it was in a certain movie, and listeners, don't worry, I was right. It is in that movie.
I was trying to hold in my laughter. Can we just debate for a second that song said moist?
Let's
Which
not
was
even
probably okay.
Why did you even bring it up?
15 years ago, 20 years ago.
That song is just like...
Have you noticed that is like a taboo word now, though?
Yeah, because it sounds gross.
But it never used to be a
It has
problem.
such like bad onomatopoeic pick. Relations, I guess is the word. Like,
But words like that
Yeah.
are so clever when you say it and you can feel the sound or like the
like
texture.
buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love or plop.
Ah!
Where it's like really, it's really clever. I love words like that.
Oh,
and I feel
goodness.
that with the M word. Although we shan't speak of it again.
Shan't.
It's a bit funny.
We shan't speak of
No
it again.
way.
Don't worry.
Anyway.
You guys, you can take your fingers out of your ears now. The horribleness is over.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I was reading a new study that came out by Chorper this week, which is kind of like a relaxation / I don't know, website of a like.
That's a really good description. I feel like I know exactly where you got your source material from now.
A website of like the life is so relaxing type. Like,
I am never on those websites.
those kind
let
of
me tell you.
those kind of websites. But anyway, they did a really interesting, I guess, little piece the other week about dealing with stress. And of course, there are so many different methods to deal with stress, and we've spoken about them, I guess, on the show a bit, or about like self-care or self-help or things like that. But this website gave 6 tips for de-stressing, and they're quite basic, but a couple of them I don't do. So I'm interested to like chat through them with you and see if there's
Okay.
something that you do. So these are supposedly the best things you can do, but then, they all say that.
If this
But we'll see.
website, if it was a person, is the kind of person that would probably say namaste instead of hello, I'm probably not. I'm probably not going to be the kind of person who does anything on this list. I'm just going to put it out there.
It's not quite.
Maybe
that
not
far.
purposefully anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's quite that far.
Okay.
But the first one, I guess, kind of is down those lines. And it's something I don't do, although I hear you should do it. It's meditation.
I don't meditate.
I can't meditate. I giggle. Like, no matter how bad the mood I am in, like, I giggle. I can't do the silence.
I just get bored.
I can't clear my mind.
Yeah.
For a long enough
as soon as
period of
as soon as I
time.
like clear my mind, like another thought will pop up, and I get that's the whole point of meditating. Is over time you get used to not doing that. But like, I don't know. I just don't think I have the patience to get to the point where I'm actually good at it and it's beneficial for me.
No,
I think it'd be
can't do
kind of
it.
like yoga, where it's kind of hurts at first, and then when you're really practiced at it, then it's really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking of yoga, though, there's a section at the end of yoga that usually goes for 10 minutes called Shavasana, which essentially is meditation. And I hate Shavasana because I hate
you mean nap time at the end of yoga.
Yeah, pretty much nap time. But I hate it because the yoga teacher's always like, clearing your mind. And I'm always like going through a checklist of like what I'm going to do when I get home,
Yeah.
what I'm going to do the next day. And I just can't clear my mind. But I also don't want to because then I feel lazy or I start going to sleep. So,
There's no go between. I'm either lazy or I'm asleep.
but anyway, apparently meditation helps. Number 2, I definitely am a fan of this one, deep breathing exercises.
I do that to calm myself down when I'm stressed.
Oh, I'm a heavy breather. I do it.
I'm a heavy walker. And that's a weird thing to say, but if you're ever in a room with me, even if it's carpeted, you'll know I'm coming. Like, I'm a really heavy
Thump,
walker.
thump, thump.
Oh, yeah. And we've got, like, wooden floors at work. And if I'm in heels at work, it's like clomp, 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 clomp down the hall. And I'm like, here comes Victoria.
And then there's the people that you never see because they just seem to float around.
Oh, it's so freaky.
They barely
Like
step on the ground.
Because then they come to your desk, you're like, oh, and they're like right next to you. It's not good.
Well, that's interesting because number 3 on this list is walking, and that is my thing. My absolute number one way to de-stress is to go for a walk. I absolutely love walking. I do it often, but I wish I could do it all the time, and I find it so relaxing.
I do. Yeah, I enjoy walking. I'll like if I'm walking the dog, like I never want to do it. I'm like, oh, I have to walk the dog, but I actually do really enjoy it when I'm actually out there with him. And I do a lot of incidental walking to and from work because I catch public transport. And
I do no working to and from work.
You do no working?
Walking.
Do you know working to and from work?
I do the workings at work, but I don't do the walkings.
You don't do the walkings at work?
No, but I do the workings. But it's interesting that walking is one of them.
But it depends if it's purposeful because like I have to walk to and from work.
True.
And some mornings I'm just like, oh, I just want to be at point A and point B. I don't want to walk in between. But sometimes I guess if the weather's really nice, I'm like, this is quite nice. I don't mind being outside. But that
And
doesn't
it's
happen
good
very
you,
often for me.
apparently, so there we go. The next one is sleeping. And I can understand that because I went through a phase probably about a year ago where I went to bed at like 9 o'clock every night. I just did. And I have
early.
never felt better in my life than when I used to go to bed at 9 o'clock. I used to clock off at 9, be asleep by 1:15, but sleep right through to the next morning, you know, on like 10 hours plus sleep for a year. And it was the best year ever.
Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. That is what they say.
I don't know if I was that early to rise, like 7 o'clock early.
It sounds so like lame, but the older I get, I found that like when I was younger, I could stay up late.
Yeah.
But as long as like I got like 8 hours sleep, I was fine. But now if I stay up late, even if I get 8 hours, I feel terrible the next morning.
Still just doesn't,
I actually have to, it's not the amount of sleep, it's when I go to bed, which I hate. And maybe it's because I get up early for work. So even on the weekends, I wake up early naturally.
So hitting that next age bracket of life.
So even if I'm like, oh, I can stay up late because I can sleep in tomorrow, I won't actually sleep in. It's terrible. This whole growing old thing is awful.
It's true. And the very
Old. I'm 23. Gosh.
The very last one, which I am not a fan of, but so many people say that it works, is write a journal. And I'm a writer, so it sounds stupid because I always say write down your feelings. I have never been one to write down my feelings in my life. But writing a journal is psychologically a way to de-stress yourself.
I'm not a journal writer either.
Dear diary. Dear journal.
Well, maybe we should take it like Bridget Jones does. Maybe it'd be more enjoyable if we did it like that. If you guys found any of those really helpful, let us know. Or if you have your own tips that you find particularly helpful to de-stress, we'd love to find out because I'm always up for tips on how to de-stress. I don't know about you, but...
Me too. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Brand new song coming out now. This is 24K Magic by Bruno Mars. Stick around. You're listening to Hope and Victoria on The Takeover. Welcome back. 24K Magic by Bruno Mars. This is Radio Northern Beaches. You're with Hope and Victoria on The Takeover. And we are going to talk about Doctor Who. Victoria, you are a fan.
I'm a huge fan. My mug at work, it has a picture of the TARDIS on it at the moment.
I smashed my mug at work today. I was in a rush to get my tea.
Oh
and
my
it just,
gosh, that's
not
so
the one that you
traumatic.
bought me, another one.
Oh, good. I was going to say, I was like, whoa.
Smashed all over the floor.
Cool. Guys, the show is falling apart. We're not going to be friends anymore. That's really sad.
I know. I was sad. But anyway, moving on from that, back to Doctor Who. The reason we are talking about it is because today is 53 years since the very first episode of Doctor Who, An Unearthly Child, was broadcast on the BBC.
That's so exciting.
Such a long time. And what I didn't actually know is that it was broadcast in 4 weekly parts, beginning on the 23rd of November. So the first episode was in 4 parts.
Well, they were all like an hour each, weren't they?
Yeah, they were really, really long. And it was scripted by, drumroll, an Australian.
Really?
Yeah,
that I did not know.
I don't know if that continued for the rest of them, but definitely for the first one. And obviously since then we've experienced 26 years of the original series and now it's nearly 12 years of the new series. If you're interested, there's been 923 episodes and 263 stories with 12 different doctors.
Yep.
Which is crazy. The oldest of which was the first Doctor, William Hartnell, and he was 55 when he began the role on the show. And the youngest was Matt Smith, who was actually only just the second most recent Doctor, and he was 27 when he started.
I believe that Peter Capaldi, when he started, he was only a few months younger than William Hartnell. So, like by a few months, he missed out on being the eldest, which is crazy.
So I think most of them were kind of early to mid 40s.
Yeah, 30s, 40s, I think is probably the average for how they were.
Because I always in my mind imagine him being like mid 30s.
That's understandable.
I imagine him a youngish because he's still quite like rogue and boyish. So I imagine him kind of young.
I mean, this is going to sound like very deep and like, I don't know.
Analyze away.
But part of the beauty of Doctor Who is that he can be like a young, very boyish character, but he has that, I don't know, that like wisdom and weight of an old man.
Yeah.
Matt Smith is my favourite Doctor, and people, like, you can yell at the radio all you want, I can't hear you, but he is my favourite Doctor, and I think it's because, for me, I started watching it when his series had started, so, like, it's always like, oh, he was my first Doctor, but also, like, I've watched all the other Doctors, and for me, he just really well encapsulated the idea of being silly and childlike, whilst also he could like in an instant switch around and have this weight to what a 900-year-old man would have who's seen horrible things. And Matt Smith as an actor did that so well that I think
Yeah.
regardless whether you like his version of the Doctor, I think he did that really well.
I did like him, but for me,
David
definitely,
Tennant?
definitely David
Yeah.
Tennant is my favorite Doctor, and sort of like you, yeah, mostly because I grew up with him because he was about 9 or 10. I was about 9 or 10, sorry, when he started in the show, and he was the Doctor for 6 years, so quite a while. And I guess what I liked about David Tennant, it sounds weird, but all the things that you just said about Matt Smith, and also David Tennant, and I feel like this is just him generally in so many things he does, he has a slight edge to him that's like almost a little psycho.
Yes,
And I feel
know what
like
you mean, yeah.
I feel like the Doctor would be like that because he's so many years old and he's been through so many time zones. He's stuck in a small space. He probably is just a slight bit crazy, but not enough that you can't relate. And that's why David Tennant to me was perfect, because he has that really good mix. And I feel like everyone in science fiction has to be a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I think so. You have to have a certain...
Or maybe that's just I don't like
You have to have
science
a certain spark in you that's kind of off-center to think of some of the incredible things that have to
Yeah.
happen with science fiction. But I like what you said about David Tennant. I definitely agree. He's sort of keeps leaning towards the edge, and you're a bit
Yeah.
worried he's going to turn over. Whilst I think Matt Smith was much more, had this
He's a
darkness.
bit safe and
He
but very dark.
He was safe, but then he had this darkness which was almost scary at times, but he wasn't, it didn't feel as potentially dangerous as I think David Tennant's Doctor did.
But I feel that with Matt Smith, even though he had the darker side, you knew him better. Whereas with David Tennant, it was very much like the person you think you know, but actually you know nothing about them type person. Like the
Yeah.
person where you've barely scratched the surface and they're all fun loving on the top, but like really dark past.
Yeah.
He was much like that. Like you can't know him.
See, Doctor
and I'm into
Who's
that.
amazing.
I'm into the mystery man.
Oh, of course you
So-
are. Tall, dark and mysterious.
David Tennant all the way for me.
Would you like to know an interesting fact about Doctor Who?
I sure would.
Particularly the episodes. If you would like to have a huge marathon and watch every Doctor Who episode, do you
Oh,
know how
God.
long it's going to take you?
A few years. Bit of time travel.
15 and a half days
Ooh.
to watch all the episodes, which is insane.
I feel like there are fans that would do that.
Well, yeah. I mean, why not? It's an amazing show. I love it. I
that is
100% do it.
I didn't realise that there had been that many years off between the original series and the
Yeah.
revisited series.
It's quite a bit.
Like, so long. Like, 25 years.
Yeah, and things that are really prominent themes in the new series weren't really focused on or cared about in the original, which is interesting. So things like the sonic screwdriver, which, if you guys know, is the little sort of tool mechanism that the Doctor always has now. And with each new regeneration, he sort of changes the style a little bit. I think only like one of the original Doctors had one, and it wasn't really focused on, and they never really wanted to have it as like a key feature. But when the
that's
new
true.
writers and producers rebooted it, they wanted it to be a key feature because they saw a potential in it. So.
When you think about it, though, it's almost so 21st century to have, like, the tech gimmick with you that can, like, fit in your hand.
Yeah,
I think
true.
It's so modern to not just rely completely on instinct, to have some, like, fancy science fiction thing with
Yeah.
you.
Well, I guess that's one of the things that's so appealing about Doctor Who is that it does keep itself very current, which is good.
It adapts. Tell me
very
more
well.
of your facts.
So the fourth Doctor was acted by Tom Baker, and he had this very iconic long scarf. Do you know the long scarf?
yeah, I know
It's
the
like
one.
really, really long. It's a couple
Yeah.
of feet long. Well, it was created by accident.
Oh.
At the time, the costume designer, he sent off a bunch of balls of yarn to a knitter and was for them to choose between to make a normal size scarf. But the message didn't really get through and they got confused, and so they just like knitted it all. And that's why it's so
all the
long.
samples in one.
Yeah, and so it came back and the costume designer was like, this is actually really cool.
Perfect.
And it was like an instant hit, and it's like a very, it's such an iconic piece of costumery now,
Yeah.
especially with Doctor Who.
That's amazing how
That's
these
quite
things
cool.
happen.
Yeah, I love when you find out something like happened by accident. It's so cool. Like, it's such a random bit of happen chance. Something else really interesting about Doctor Who as a show is that it employed the first female producer the BBC had ever had,
How long ago was
which
that?
is insane.
That must have been in the original series, though.
Yes. So it was back in the 60s. Her name was Verity Lambert. So
Oh, okay.
Verity Lambert was recruited by the BBC to head up the drama. And it's just really cool because she had a lot of input and really pushed like different camera angles and things that you don't notice but actually really important to a piece like Doctor Who, which is quite cool.
It's actually not that surprising that she is the first, because I find often with British TV, they're very behind on that front. Like, for instance, another show that's been running actually longer than Doctor Who in the UK. That's a headline show there is Coronation Street. And they have actually only just got their first female producer this year.
Really?
In 60 years of of being Britain's most famous show.
So I think that's why it's quite impressive that in the 60s they had a female producer.
Yeah, in the UK, very much so.
Yeah. And I think something that most people know is that the current Doctor, Peter Capaldi, was a super fan when he was a kid. Do you know this story?
Yeah, I heard about that.
He used to write into the Doctor Who fan club official newsletter, and which is adorable. And it's so lovely that he's now the Doctor, and that's so cute. That's such a very keep chasing your dreams.
That is really cute.
And
So cute.
a fact to end on, which I think you might very much like.
Ooh.
There was an episode in 1965 called The Chase, and the story follows the Doctor and his crew are in the TARDIS, and they rock up to a performance of the Beatles playing, and they actually
cool.
played. The
Wow.
Beatles were on Doctor Who.
I never knew that. That is
Yeah.
so super cool.
So, guys, look into that and let us know what you think of the Beatles being on Doctor Who. I think that's super cool.
I think that's way cool.
It's the most British thing ever as well.
It so is. Don't go away. We're going to be back right after these songs with our very special movie review. You are not going to want to miss it, so stick around. This is Radio Northern Beaches.
This is the 3 p.m. takeover with Hope and Victoria. Hope you enjoyed that. First up, we had Side to Side by Ariana Grande, and then we just heard Bang Bang by Jessie J. Two killer hits. That was a bit fun. I'm all
They were
pumped up
great
now.
songs. I know. We needed that.
That's good. And so just before the break, we were talking about Doctor Who, which let's just do a whole show on Doctor Who. Let's have a Doctor Who theme. Oh my goodness.
I've got to say, though, in terms of that show, I went through a phase for probably about a year, and I remember it was my HSC year, where I was obsessed with the show. It's all I wanted to do. But
I didn't
aside
know
from that,
this.
I've never been into it.
I had no idea about
I
this.
had a year where I was obsessed and watched nothing else, and then now and before that, I'm
Wow.
yeah,
It was a phase.
it was a short and fleeting love for me.
But what isn't a short and fleeting love for either of us is the world of Harry Potter. Now, for those of you for some reason don't know, J.K. Rowling has just done the screenplay, and they've made the film for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is set in the Harry Potter universe, but it's set in New York in the 1920s. So Harry won't be born for another 70 years in this context.
Yeah, so we're well ahead of time here.
Yeah, but it follows. So in one of the first Harry Potter books, one of the textbooks he has at school is called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and these movies will follow Newt Scamander, who wrote those, and it's sort of looking at how and why he wrote the books, which is really cool.
Yeah.
As a person who loves animals, I especially love this movie because it looks at magical creatures, and they're adorable and hilarious in this movie.
Look, as a person that hates animals, I still like it. So this is the thing. But what's interesting about Newt Scamander is he is a magizoologist. So I'm sure you can work out what that one is. And it was really exciting seeing the animals on the screen, because of course there are all these fantastic animals in the Harry Potter universe, but you just kind of imagine them in your mind. Seeing them come to life on the screen is so exciting.
And one of the other awesome things was seeing the American Wizarding World and how they work, because I don't know, just lots of little cultural differences, which is what we have today as well. But even things so those of you who know Harry Potter will know that people who aren't magical are called muggles in the British version of the magical world. But in the American version, they call them nomad, no magic, which is just a cute little cultural difference. And they had a bunch of those throughout the film, and I really enjoyed that. And just seeing it was much less the school environment. It was more real world, which was cool.
That's what was so good. And it was exciting to see another culture, because even though if you know Harry Potter well, of course, in the fourth book, you get really well exposed to students from a school in France and also a school in Bulgaria. So they are very different, but it's not quite the same. And I think Harry Potter is so inherently British and so sort of boarding school British that it's really exciting to see a different perspective in this film. And like you said, something that's set in an adult world, not in a child's world. It's great to see the Harry Potter universe in a more mature way.
And even just seeing I keep calling it domestic magic. So in a witch or wizard's home, they'll do the dishes or cook food using magic, and that's really cool to see, because you don't see that at Hogwarts.
It ain't all about saving lives.
Exactly. I don't know. If you like Harry Potter, you've probably already seen it by now, but it is an incredible movie. It's beautifully animated.
It is.
Incredibly animated. The costumes are incredible and the acting is just stellar. If you haven't seen it and you're thinking about seeing it, I encourage you with my entire being to go see it.
So do I, but like, little disclaimer, it is very surprisingly dark with some not so nice concepts. So I would strictly say like no one under 12.
Yeah, that's probably safe.
There are some very interesting themes in there.
So Hope and I went to see it together, and there are a few bits where it got very dark and very quiet, and we were waiting for something to jump out. Like, it had its kind of scary-ish moments, but that was kind of great because it felt more grown up than Harry Potter did. And the last Harry Potter movies were a lot darker than the first few, definitely, which is just sort of the natural progression of like Harry growing up and becoming more of an adult. But this was very much more an adult world, which was really nice to see.
This touches on real world concepts of fear, which is really interesting. Yeah, it's so exciting if you've grown up loving Harry Potter, which I think almost everybody of our age group has, and even people who have children who are our age also went through that as well. It's just so exciting to see something new from J.K. Rowling that is connected to the world.
And what's cool is because she's written these as screenplays, they're not novels first. This is like the first time that we're not actually going to know what's going to happen until we go to the movie.
Yeah.
Because previously you could read the book first and you knew what was going to happen. It's a really weird feeling to not know what's going to happen in a J.K. Rowling movie.
I know. So it's like,
but I kind of love it.
The unknown. But you know what? Moving away from that. No, we're still kind of on the same topic.
Okay, good.
I had a little drama when we were at the cinema. So we actually saw this together with a friend of ours, and yeah, I had a problem with my snack.
I noticed you were very conflicted. What do I get?
I was. Okay, so I got a Choc Top, which is often my snack of choice.
Oh,
and
it was a disaster.
It was. I left it too long and the Choc Top came off the cone, and then I was left with like the ball top thing in the wrapper. But then it was melted, so I was just kind of sucking it out of the plastic. Then I was like, this is gross. I'm just going to leave it. My $5 is done here.
It was very sad for you, but as an observer, it was very funny to watch you try and like eat this like ice cream out of like the weird plastic bag.
Because it wasn't like the...
And then sadly crunch on the cone.
Yeah, because the chocolate shell had broken too, so it was just like a green mush.
Aww.
I was a bit sad. But yeah, Choc Top is still my snack of choice despite the extortionate cost they are these days. But what do you normally buy? Like if you're just heading to the movies, what do you get? Because I have a story for you that's going to blow your mind.
Okay, I am very simple. I've done, as we've always done, my family and I, we always get packet of chips, chocolate bar. I used to get a soft drink, but now I actually prefer water to wash it all down.
Getting old.
Yeah, I know.
You know, you're getting old when soft drink is like when you become an adult.
You have the
and
choice
like,
and you choose water.
And you go, too bubbly. And then you're like, whoa, I'm getting old.
It's too sweet. Yeah, I've never been a big popcorn person in general, let alone at the cinema. Mainly because like people always eat it all before the movie starts. And if you wait for the movie to start, it's cold. And the whole point is having hot popcorn. It is, people say it's the ideal movie snack. It's not. It literally,
I don't like
its mere existence is in contradiction to the to like the lifestyle movements of actually going to the cinema.
It's so true.
It frustrates me.
I'm with you. I'm more like a chips and chocolate bar type person, or occasionally a Choc Top, depending on my mood.
Not a huge chocolate person.
But I'm definitely not a popcorn person. But
so tell me this story.
I have weirdest movie snack idea ever. So when I first started dating my current boyfriend, which is a long time ago now, we went to the movies together for the first time, and we were chatting. You know, we were like, oh, do you normally get a snack? Like, what do you normally get?
All the awkward like first date moves, and you're like weirdly, you're like, oh, actually, you suddenly realize that other people don't have the exact same snacks as you. You're like, oh, yeah, this will suddenly change the way I see a person.
Or when you have like,
because if you stick with them, you're ideally going to be going to the cinema with them a lot.
Yeah, or if it's a friend that you've gone to the cinema with for years, you can sort of be like, "Kay, meet you in the confectionery aisle at Coles 10 minutes before the movie," you know, or something like that. So you just kind of know, or you have like the posh friends that actually buy cinema snacks, and you're like, okay. So it varies.
Who can actually afford cinema snacks?
I know, right? My boyfriend once, bless him, this is so funny, could not find a snack at home to take to the movies and knew that he wouldn't be in time to buy one beforehand. And to be fair, he is a man. They do weird things. And I think he was 18 or 19. He took a block of cheese from his fridge at home and took it to the movies, and that was his cinema snack.
Oh, my...
He snacked on a block of cheese.
Oh, my good... Like, tasty cheese?
Yeah, just like cheese.
Oh my
cheese.
God, that's worse.
Like
No,
cheddar.
because if it was like cheddar's so strong.
No, I think just like regular cheese. What have you called that?
Oh my gosh. Oh,
I don't know if he didn't like
I
eat the
don't-
whole block, I think, but the point was he had an entire block of
insane.
cheese, not even like sliced pieces of
that
cheese.
is a really weird food to panic grab while running out of the house.
But I said that to him and he was like, but it's not weird, I like cheese. And I was like, but you don't take blocks of cheese out in public.
It's not a snack.
It's not a thing.
That's so odd. Like I get people like eating like cubed cheese, but I don't. I don't like.
I do, but I wouldn't take cubed cheese to the cinema. If you have a movie snack that is weirder than that, I bet you don't. But if you do, let us know. We want to hear it. If you go and see Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, we want to hear about that too.
Give us your full review.
Yes, and what you ate while you were there.
Yeah, it's just as important as the actual movie, actually, you know?
We're going to be right back after this. Stick around. We have Suburb Focus coming up next. This is Megan Trainor with Me Too. Megan Trainor, Me Too. This is Rated on the Beaches, Hope and Victoria, the Takeover. Happy Wednesday. We are getting toward the end of our show.
Which can
Very
mean
sad.
one thing and one thing only. I think it might be time for Suburb Focus.
For, get this, the third last time.
No!
Why are there not more suburbs on the Northern Beaches?
When we started, I was like, ugh, this segment's going to be the death of me. And now I'm like, baby, don't go. Why are you leaving me like this? I'll treat you better next time, I promise.
Actually, such a good segment though.
No,
I'm a
it
bit
is.
disappointed. This week's suburb is, drumroll, Fairlight.
Oh, I was doing the drum roll.
I'm sorry, I interrupted your drum roll with my news. But anyway,
Was it Fairlight?
Fairlight.
That's exciting. My
Okay.
drum roll interrupted you.
The suburb is Fairlight. So Fairlight is a
Fairlight is fairly?
Fairlight is fairly small. And this is really embarrassing considering I have lived on the beaches my whole life. I didn't know that Fairlight existed until I was 17.
Really?
No.
It's right. It's like the top of the hill of Manly.
Yeah,
Between
it's
Bugalla
really
and
tiny.
Manly. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Like, it's so small. And so I didn't realise it existed till I was 17. And someone invited me to a party there. And I was like, Fairlight. And I remember talking to my parents. I was like, I don't want to go all the way to Fairlight. And they were like, what do you mean? And I thought that they were talking about Fairfield, which is that suburb way out west.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'd gone there once. I thought it was out there. And I was like, why does she go to my school if she lives there? Then I was like, oh, found out where Fairlight was. But it is legit so tiny. So if you're not from the south end of the beaches and you haven't heard of it, you are forgiven because I hadn't either. So like Victoria said, it's right between Balgowlah and Manly. And it takes its name from Fairlight House, which was built in the area by Henry Gilbert Smith in the mid-1800s. And
Was it like a mansiony house or like a
Yeah.
lighthouse?
No, like a mansiony house.
Okay, cool.
And the
A
house...
manor.
Yeah.
It was a manor.
Like a manor.
Fairlight Manor.
Fairlight Manor. And the house was named after Fairlight, which is a village in Hastings in East Sussex. And the suburb was actually originally called Red Hill before it was
really?
called Fairlight. Yeah.
I prefer Fairlight.
So Fairlight was just the name of the house, and it was called Red Hill because before World War II, all of Sydney Road was red gravel.
Really?
Yeah, before it was like redone with like modern tarmac.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, that's why it was called Red Hill, because the road was bright red.
Oh wow. I thought it was going to have some really dramatic like Aboriginal white man conflict there. And I was really hoping that wasn't
Where
it.
all the blood was shed. No.
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
But it's like I think it's down in Tasmania, Wineglass Bay.
Yeah.
It's called Wineglass Bay because it used to be red because of the whale blood. I was
Ew.
worried it was going to be something horrible like that, but I'm pleasantly surprised.
No.
It's just dirt.
Just gravel road. No big deal. So Fairlight actually has its own tiny beach, which I also didn't know, but I guess if I hadn't heard of Fairlight, that's why, which you can access via the Manly Scenic Walkway. And so you can
Yes.
walk from Fairlight to the Spit Bridge in Mosman, which is a nice walk. I love the Spit to Manly walk. If you haven't done it, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun and it's very flat, so it's suitable for everybody.
It's nice, but let me tell you, if you decide to walk to Manly to catch a ferry and you realise you're running late, it becomes a very stressful walk because you're running, but you can always see the ferry, but it never feels like it gets closer.
Yeah. There we go. You can't actually surf at Fairlight Beach because it's too rocky and the ground is very unpredictable. But because of that and the ground, it's very popular for snorkeling.
Oh, yeah.
Because it has an interesting underneath with all the different rocks and stuff. And Fairlight is actually also very well known for its Christmas lights fundraising competition, which takes place every year in Edwin Street. So Christmas is coming up. We are going to be telling you about the best light displays on the beaches and where you should go to get the absolute best view of this year's Christmas lights. So stay tuned for that. One of them is definitely Edwin Street in Fairlight.
I love Christmas lights.
Oh, me too.
A little part of me wishes we could do them year round, but then I know they'd lose their special novelty.
And then there's the houses that actually do, like they just don't take them down.
Yeah,
and you're like, how lazy are you?
Yeah, and you're like, at least like...
Can't tell if took down late or put up way too early.
Yeah. Exactly, it's so true. So that was Fairlight. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about this quaint little suburb. It's a fair...
I had not.
Yes. Hope enjoyed learning about it for sure. And I hope you guys enjoyed the whole show. Let us know on Facebook. We love hearing your guys' opinion. Let us know who your favourite doctor is. Let us know your favourite de-stress tip. Let us know if you saw
your
Fantastic
favourite movie
Beasts.
snack.
Yeah, your favourite movie snack. Are you a block of cheese kind of person?
God.
No judgment. We've had a few requests in the previous months and weeks of people wanting to listen to the show again, but they really want to hear the music. And like, fair enough, we do amazing playlists.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So we've finally found a platform that we can put our entire show on, music and all. It's called Mixcloud. So if you guys want to catch up on any past episode from way back in the beginning of August last year. Yes,
Wow.
last year.
Yeah,
God,
last year.
Get so old, Hope. You can catch up. All our shows are on there. It's mixcloud.com/the 3pm takeover.
On a final note, we are heading into December tomorrow, which is so scary, but that means that we have our special coming up next week.
Woo woo! Very exciting. Our last special for the year. I can't believe it.
So fast. I'm so excited for our new special. It is to do with a massive passion for both of us. So Victoria, do you want to spill the beans?
I would love to do the honour. So this is a listener request. Thank you so much for all the requests we've had sent in on ideas for themes. We're definitely going to use a few next year. The one we've chosen to end the year on is songs from musicals, which, like Hope said,
I'm so ready for.
Yeah, we're very excited about. Both of us are huge musical buffs. In the meantime, have an excellent week, and we will catch you on Friday for the repeat, or we will see you next week for our musical special.
Bye.